South Africa versus Bangladesh. Important game for the South African team towards their quest for the semi-finals. Let's talk all about that match here at Time Out with Sports Adda. Interesting matchup, Arun. South Africa playing. They seem to be playing some good cricket. Solid players coming together for them. Interesting matchup today against Bangladesh.
Interesting matchup, did you say? History predicts otherwise. I mean, history predicts it could be a one-sided contest. We look at the head-to-head, the matchups between the two teams, Akhil, quickly. What's
Sure.
happened between South Africa and Bangladesh? There's a reason why I say this.
Sure.
These two teams have met 6 times in the past, and look what's happened there. It's South Africa all the way, Akhil, and by convincing margins too. You look at it: 7 wickets, 52 runs, 31 runs, 20 runs,
Wow.
83 runs. Wow, some big wins there. So history
Big
predicts it could be South Africa again, but this game of T20 is so fickle, Akhil. You can't
It's
say
fickle. It's absolutely fickle, and the conditions are still going to be favoring Bangladesh, even though they've lost one of their key players, Shakib Ul Hasan, who has to go back. But the conditions are still very much in favor of Bangladesh. The spinners are still there for them to try and get control of the game. The batters are not batting so badly. So matchup will be an interesting one, is what I think. Any other? Sorry. Go on.
no. I mean, South Africa, they're having a dream year, Akhil. They're riding high on confidence, and sport is such that confidence can make you do weird things, special
Yeah.
things, if I can call it.
Yeah.
You kind of step out of your comfort zone. You're seeing the ball better. So why there are spinners in the Bangladesh ranks to threaten South Africa? I think South Africa will come up with flying colors. I'll tell you why. Let's look at the top run getters this year, Akhil. Let's take a couple of
In
numbers here.
T20 cricket,
One
international
in,
T20
in
cricket.
T20 international. Look at the top run getters this year. Uh, there are a couple of South Africans there, and you don't
Wow.
really talk about Aiden Markram as a T20 international player. It's not the runs alone, but look at the strike rate as well,
Amazing.
146. And then there's always the quality of Quinton de Kock. May not have done too much in the competition so far, and other factors have kind of thrust him in the limelight for non-cricketing reasons. But he's still a quality player. He's had form going into this competition. So two players is Temba Bavuma. David Miller's played a few useful
Yeah.
knocks. So it's going to be interesting. It won't be that difficult for South Africa, but yeah, maybe a small challenge.
What is the most impressive thing about this Aiden Markram stat that you've given, Arun, is that he's not batting at the top of the order. And that is, I respect players like that very much, because if you see, he bats at the top of the order in Test cricket, which is a more difficult form where you have to open. The T20 and the ODI white ball format is where you can just go tonk without pressure. But Markram is doing the opposite, which is such a impactful thing, which is such a difficult thing to do, and he's striking at 146, which is more than a lot of big batsmen, bigger names in world cricket. So admirable stat, that really nice. He's also bowling, which is not being carried around too much, but he's bowling those impactful 2-3 overs that India has been searching for their number 6 bowler, but Markram has been doing that job beautifully. So that is a really good stat.
Yeah, and look, in T20, every over is worth its weight in gold, Akhil.
Exactly.
1 over, you get away 1 over, which means you got, take away those 3-4 runs saved, you have to chase those 3-4 runs lesser. So yeah, I mean, Markram's doing an incredible job for South Africa. And look at the record this year. They're on a roll. We mentioned they're on a roll. Look at what they've done. This is their most successful year, Akhil. 13 wins in 2021. They've obviously played a lot more matches, but it's their most successful year. 62% of the game. So South Africa, and they've got players, like I said. They've got the players who can win them those games. Bangladesh is there on the table as well. 11 matches out of 22. We'll talk about
Yeah.
Bangladesh at length in a little while, but a few players I want to talk about the South African team. One, we've spoken to a couple of batsmen, but we've got to look at one fast bowler, Anrich
Yeah.
Nortje. what a sensational year he's been having, Akhil. We saw him in the Indian T20 League earlier in the year. He was bowling fire, spitting fire, if I can say. But here's the interesting thing: we've broken down his numbers into T20 leagues or other T20 competitions and T20 internationals. And it's not often that you see a player whose records are better in T20 internationals. I mean, the one player
Wow.
I can think of instantly is Rashid Khan, whose
Yeah.
numbers are phenomenal in T20 international in comparison to T20 leagues or domestic T20 competition. But here's one more. Look at what Nokia has done this year.
Amazing. Amazing. I mean, he's really been the impact for the Delhi team also. We've spoken about how they could not have played him in the first part of the league. And these are really awesome numbers, Arun. He's been the go-to man for any captain. The lengths he's bowling, most importantly, he's not really nailing Yorkers all the time, but he's bowling those lengths where he's pushing the batsman behind, not allowing them the freedom to hit through the arc. So he's been really impressive. He and Rabada, really impressive. If South Africa get into the knockouts, Arun, and they have to defend a total, then it's going to be interesting to see how these two bowl up, because with Shamsi there, they have three good bowlers and Pretorius who's bowling that beautiful line outside off stump. So you're right. This is Nortje with being the key. The attack is shaping to be a really good one.
I mean, how often do you not talk about Rabada, who's a proven wicket taker, and put somebody else or two other bowlers ahead of him, in a show? So there's that tells you how good Andrik Nokke has been. But you mentioned Shamsi briefly, Akhil. Sensational form, absolutely sensational form. Look at his numbers this year. I mean, it's the number of wickets he's picked up, 32 wickets. But over the period of matches that he's played, 20 matches. Look at that economy, Akhil. 20
Wow.
matches this year and still an economy of 5.74.
And he's played against all the good teams, Arun. It's not like these 20 matches have come with teams who are associate nations or who are not playing Test cricket. These are good teams. West Indies, I think Sri Lanka also. So
Correct.
this has been a really impressive. I mean, I always remember Tabre Shamsi, with the celebrations that he used to do. He did a magician thing once where he took out a
And a
flag
phone.
after and a phone. Yes. So I always remembered Shamsi for those celebrations, but he's turning into a lethal match winner for South Africa in white ball cricket. So really happy to see that.
He's had one good. I'm just looking at what he's done in the last, let's say, 15, 16, 17 games, Akhil. He's gone past. I'm looking at this is the last 14 games, Akhil, he's played. He's had a bad game only once. He's gone wicketless only once in the last 14 matches. And that was, the match against the West Indies, an unfavorable matchup because of the left-handers and stuff. So sensational form. And he's performed against different sides. You're right. He's got wickets against Pakistan at home in South
Yeah.
Africa. He's got wickets against the West Indies in the West Indies. He's got wickets against Ireland. He's got wickets against Sri Lanka in Sri Lanka, and then now in the World Cup. Brilliant. And it's just fun to watch him.
It's fun to watch him, especially after the pace of Nortje. Batsmen will be looking forward to some respite, hoping that his nice Chinaman bowler will come and we can hit him. But it's a tough one. So South Africa has got something going there. I like watching them play. So very nice team that they're building up.
And these two bowlers will definitely trouble Bangladesh. I mean, Bangladesh are not used to such high pace. They do play them once in a while, but somebody like Nokke is really, I mean, really going to test them to the limits today. I also say that because they're missing that one batsman who has that experience, ability, and who's known to handle those difficult bowlers. I mean,
Yeah.
Shakib's been ruled out uh, of the World Cup because of an injury, and what that does, Akhil, you're losing two players. We mentioning Shakib's name, but it's really two players in one.
Yeah.
We look at Bangladesh's top performers in the World Cup in this World Cup, and
Yeah.
look at that. I mean, Shakib's at number 4 among the top run getters, 131 runs. So you're taking a batsman away. 131 runs is a significant number of runs. So you're taking a batsman away, and you're taking their highest wicket taker away as well with 11 wickets.
Interesting stat that somehow, Arun. I've been disappointed with the way Bangladesh cricket has shaped up, especially in T20 cricket. I did see a stat there where you showed some numbers where they're stacking up in the number of wins there. But while they've managed to do well in home conditions, the conditions that they know well, they still have not been able to produce any match winners when they travel outside. Or even in big tournaments, they've just not been able to deliver as to expectations from their fans. They also have a large fan base, as you
Oh,
know.
huge,
Um,
huge,
the
and
support, the
crazy fan
support,
base, Akhil.
exactly, the support for cricket there is amazing. So they should really now be able to challenge the top teams and try and be regularly playing the semi-finals of large tournaments, which is not happening. And I think they really need to look at themselves as a T20 side and do a lot of work to change what they should be doing.
You mentioned the record. Okay, let's also read through those numbers. What's happened to them? They've had so much success. This is one of their best years. I think perhaps their best year in T20. But that's influenced by the fact that they've got a stunning record at home this year.
Yeah,
What have Bangladesh achieved at home this year? 10 matches, they won seven. They played West Indies or New Zealand most
Australia
recently
also, I
before
think.
coming into the World
Yeah,
Cup. So 7 wins out of 10 at home. In Oman, which was in the first phase of the competition, they won 2 out of 3. In Zimbabwe, they won 2 out of 3. So against at home, which are familiar conditions, and
yeah,
against opponents which might not challenge them, test them that much, they've done well.
yeah,
But
correct.
elsewhere, look at the last line there: 6 matches, not won once. So that's the problem. You're right. I mean, given how much they've got quality players, but it's about, I
Yeah.
guess, lifting your game to match up to the competition.
And the expectations from fans should now be that Bangladesh have been playing Test cricket for what, 1999 or 2000 they started.
2000.
2000. So it's 21 years now. So have they really made that kind of progress where they have to played any T20 finals? These are the kind of questions, uncomfortable questions, obviously, but the fans deserve to know that because they have everything going for them. So uh, I think they should really introspect. Uh, Okay, so lot we've spoken about the first game now, South Africa versus Bangladesh. There's also a second game where the table toppers are going to be on show today, isn't it? Pakistan playing some really awesome cricket. Everybody's already built them as favorites, along with England. So Pakistan versus Namibia should be an easy game there.
Two teams who've never met in international cricket, never ever met in international cricket, but two teams in form, Akhil. A lot of people might not know about Namibia. They've only lost two of their last 11 T20 internationals. Two
Wow.
of the last 11, and those defeats came to Sri Lanka and Afghanistan. They've obviously beaten teams like Scotland, PNG, Oman, Ireland, and stuff, but yeah, only two of the last 11. And we've got to mention about Pakistan's record in the UAE. Again, how have they changed things around? I don't know. What's happened between when they started playing in the UAE and 2016? They
Yeah.
won 11 of their 25 matches. Won 11, lost 14. But since 2016, look at this. They've not lost a game. They've not dropped a game, Akhil. They're on a
Wow.
14 match winning spree.
Wow, they've really managed to crack the conditions. They look like all bases are covered around. The spinners, the medium pacers, all of them are bowling well, and somehow they found a hitter uh, who they were
In Asif
really
Ali.
missing. Yeah, they were missing a hitter who could change those games for them in the last 4, 5, 6 overs. So Asif Ali has delivered for them. Shoaib Malik has been
Akhil,
closing
you're
games for
being
them.
too generous there. All he needed was 7 balls, Akhil, the other day. 25 of 7, if I remember. And he walked away with the man of the match. But you're right. They needed one hitter down there. And kudos to the gentlemen the guys who backed him and brought him to the team. So that's right. Uh, Briefly look at what Pakistan have achieved in the competition so far. Their
Yeah,
performers, uh, batting, bowling, and who's won the man of the match. Best batter the first couple of games was Mohammad Rizwan. There
yeah,
was an Asif Ali performance in that game against New Zealand too. We've not put that up because of the score, but against
yeah.
Afghanistan it was Asif Ali. Look at the bowling, Akhil. Shaheen Afridi in the first game, Haris Rauf in the second game, Imad Wasit. So the bowlers are taking turns. But here's the thing: Hassan Ali's name was missing. He's been the one weak link in that bowling attack.
Yeah.
The day he comes good, that's going to be the perfect performance for Pakistan.
Shoaib Malik also missing there. It's not like he set the World Cup on fire right now, but
He's given that one. He's given them that one win though.
exactly. He stayed not out and finished that match off. So all the components are coming together. It's a nice feel. It must be a nice feeling for Matthew Hayden and Vernon Philander who are making the strategy there to see all components coming together. So very interesting to see Pakistan shaping up. But going to be an easy game for them. They're already top of table. I expect them to stay that. Will they be going for a net run rate? You think they'll want to win by a big margin? They want. It doesn't matter for them, isn't it?
I don't think Pakistan. I mean, if Hados has an influence, they might look for it. But I think if they're able to win this, they should be okay, Akhil. I mean, 4 wins and 8 points, definitely true. I mean, it's the English way to talk about net run rate finishing early, not necessarily the Pakistan way. But
Yeah.
win the game, make sure you're 15 wins on the bounce, 4 consecutive wins in the competition. You should be safe.
Okay. Then South Africa and Pakistan for today's games. Then.
If South Africa wins, it kind of either way, that group's more interesting, Akhil, because of the way teams are lined up there.
Yeah.
If South Africa wins, uh, Australia, Sri Lanka, well, Australia more than anybody will keep looking at that group and saying, okay, now we've got to catch up.
Okay. South Africa and Pakistan then today. Let's see those games and let's come back here. We have lots and lots of interesting games to talk about, and we'll be back here at Timeout with Sports Adda.